I was like, we should probably stop talking
Yeah,
on
if we're
off
talking
mic.
about horror content.
Yes.
What is this new game that has dropped?
I think it dropped today. So it's the Dark Anthology Pictures new game called The Devil. Um, I think The Devil in Me. And it's the
Hmm.
two,
Mm.
three, it's the fourth installment, and there's gonna be like 10, I think.
Ooh.
I think that's right. And the first one was Man of Medan, the second one was Little Hope. And those were in 2019, 2020. And then after that was that I think called House of Ashes or City of Ashes. And now this new one. I'm surprised it didn't it was supposed to come out like near Halloween,
Hmm.
but the developers are super smart about it and they're like, you know what, it won't be ready then. So we're gonna just like wait a little while and then it will be ready and not
Yeah.
buggy. And so I'm like, thanks guys, that's okay. I'll just wait another month. And so I believe that has come out. And this is from the studio that created Until Dawn and The Quarry.
Oh yeah, those are your games.
Yeah, yeah. So super cool stuff. So it's like the same idea, Sam. So it's like you play like it's characters and you play as characters and you like make choices,
Hmm.
but intertwined. It's like quick time events, but it's horror themed. So it's really super cool. And I'm really
Yeah.
super psyched about this new one. A huge fan of I'm very specific about games, but I really enjoy these horror games a whole lot. So I think that drops today if anyone's a horror gamer fan.
Yeah.
So check it out.
I'm just gonna be sitting here patiently until March 23rd or 24th
What's that?
for
What's that?
the Resident Evil 4 remake drops,
Oh my
and
god, Luke's excited for that too.
watching the trailer, the noises that came from my body.
Yes.
Like I'm still hesitant because they really fumbled the ball with Resident Evil 3 make. They cut a lot of content and the game was just way too short. And there were issues with the Resident Evil 2 make, which the stories are practically identical, so there's really no reason that it's an A and B story anymore like it was in the original, because they didn't like change content to adapt for the fact that stuff that happens in the A line probably shouldn't happen again in the B line. So
Yes.
even with that, 2 is still incredibly replayable, but after I finished 3, I just haven't felt compelled to replay it. And Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game of all time, so I want it to be good, and it looks so pretty, and
That's the one where like
you're
it's
safe you're saving the president's daughter.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. There is no better one than that one, dude. That's the only one I've even really seen a lot of. And
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm glad I'm
Like
familiar with it because
I'm
it's your
pretty sure it's still
favorite.
considered one of the best games ever made.
That game's insane.
I love
Because I
it
just watched Luke
so
play it.
much.
That's so
And
cool.
I'm excited for the quality of life that's come from the 2 and 3 remakes, where you can actually walk when you're shooting. That's going to be a game changer.
You mean run when you're shooting?
Yeah. Like that's going to
Yeah.
change everything.
Dude,
And
I bet.
I'm so excited, and I will be unavailable the week that comes out.
No problem.
But that's not all we're here to talk about today.
Yeah, speaking of horror things.
Yeah. We finally watched the cult classic Terrifier. Not Terrifier 2, because I don't think that's on streaming yet. It just left theaters a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
Not yet, I checked.
So Terrifier is not the one that was causing people to throw up and pass out because it was so quote unquote scary, which that's not the case. It was too gory, and be honest about why people are fainting.
Yeah, let's be real. And I'm so excited we get to get back into that conversation.
Yeah. Because so like The Conjuring, I can believe like was so scary that normal people were like having to leave the theater because they were so scared. That was a really well done horror movie that didn't have a lot of gore.
Yes.
But the reason people were throwing up, and even watching the first one, I totally get it if you're not a fan of gore.
Yeah. Definitely.
I thought the gore in this, it was good, and it was pretty funny at some points. Like,
yes.
I don't know if you also laughed, but when they cut to the guy's head that had been carved into a jack-o'-lantern and it was on fire, I
Oh,
laughed.
like the first, yeah, like the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah, I laughed.
Oh, I didn't really laugh too much. I was being overly critical, but I want to let you know, Sam, that I watched this with Luke because
Ooh.
he has been like hearing about the big Terrifier 2 like Sweeping the
Hmm.
Nation thing, and he like looked up the Terrifier 1 like most gory scenes because he was curious to see how gory in fact they were. And I was like, well, I'm watching it, so if you're curious, you know, we can watch it. So he watched it and he was laughing sometimes.
Yeah. Um, I
He
do.
laughed.
Well, I'll get down into it.
Yeah.
Terrifier is a 2016 American independent slasher film written, produced, and directed by Damien Leone.
Leone.
It stars David Howard Thornton, Jenna Canal, and Samantha Scafaldi. Thornton portrays the murderous Art the Clown, who hunts three young women, played by Canal, Scafaldi, and Cochran on Halloween. It is the second feature film appearance of Art the Clown, the character, after Leone's 2013 anthology film, All Hallows Eve, which incorporates footage from previous short films he also directed, and that also feature the character.
I saw that also on Amazon Prime,
Yeah,
and I didn't
I
realize it
I
until
don't think I've watched All Hallows Eve.
I have not.
Yeah, but I recognize Art the Clown because even from this super small indie film, he became a horror icon like overnight.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really striking look because there are like scary clowns,
Mhm.
but he's like very scary looking.
I would
I'll
say
say that.
he's definitely a clown, but I would say mannerisms and behavior, he's much more mime-like.
Oh, that is actually a really good point. Yeah, like a mime because he is completely silent.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's like like a mime clown, but people just think clown because they like zoom in on his shoes, which are like bigger, and he has like a tiny hat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
very mime-like. You're right.
this movie was made on a budget of $35,000.
You know what? I believe it.
Yeah. I knew it was low budget,
Yeah,
but I didn't realize it was that low.
that's super low.
I'm pretty impressed with the effects they were able to pull off.
Yeah, good for them. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them. It's awesome.
So I guess let's break it down into acting. I will say this movie, this is a very specific reference.
Yeah.
This movie has the overall quality and acting style I would expect from one of the random horror movies you would rent at Blockbuster just because it looked scary on the cover.
Oh my God. That is such a perfect reference because, like, and if you're listening and if you've been there and if you've done that, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? It's such a very particular type of acting with and characters and everything like that. So yeah, oh my God, that's
Like
perfect.
watching this, I was thinking a lot about Jack Frost and Ginger Dead Man.
Ginger Dead. Nice. I
Which
haven't seen that.
that's not to say it's a bad movie because Ginger Dead Man and his counterpart, the Evil Bong, has like 47 movies in their series, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
So just like that cheesy, only there for the gore effects kind of horror movie.
Right, exactly.
So that being said, the acting it's all right. Like it's a good callback to
Yeah, it's not bad.
yeah. It's a
But
good
it's not
callback
great.
to those low budget early 90s, 80s horror films that we all know and love.
Yes.
I want to talk specifically about Tara, who I thought was going to be our final girl.
You know what? That's actually really cool because I thought that too, and I feel like on purpose she's in the spotlight for that reason. And then that's where the one I guess like one of the first twists of the movie comes in is we find out she might not be our final girl.
And I want to say she looks almost identical to Neve Campbell.
That's literally what I said whenever like she was on screen. I was like, wow, it looks like they found someone who looks basically exactly like Neve Campbell. Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't think it was on accident because this movie does feel like it was made by a horror fan for horror fans.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So I think if it was on purpose that he was looking for a Nev Campbell doppelganger, he did a really good job. So maybe that's why we all thought she was going to be the final girl while we were watching it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. So that was very cool. And he found her, and yeah, the acting was all right. I mean, they did act like girls.
I think the girls were all fine. I think it was the Art the Clown was fine. The two male characters, or four male characters, they were.
Oh yeah, they were just like okay, but like not even that great, especially like the exterminator guy.
Mm-hmm.
He like looked like he was never in a movie before or something.
Yeah. Which is possible. Like with a $35,000 budget, you can't afford amazing actors who know their worth.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't think people are watching this movie for the acting or even the story, because there is no story. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah, and you know what? Whenever I went to watch this, I knew that there was really no strong plot, because that was one of the main things that I've seen discussed about it, is that like there really isn't a plot. But I will say that like whenever you watch it, if you're wondering, like, yeah, like things are happening, but it's not like there's really no purpose to what's happening, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
the plot is there's a scary clown. We're going to talk about the scary clown, disregard the scary clown, and then we're going to get murdered.
Yes, exactly.
And knowing that prior to this, Leone was primarily a short film director, the structure of the scenes makes a little more sense, because they were kind of set up like each kill kind of felt like its own little movie. They didn't really tie together.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. Yeah.
Like they cross over, but you know, they never go back and see that the pizza guys have been murdered. It takes a really long time for the body reveal of Tara. Then there's the mom and the fucking baby doll.
Yeah, and also the manner of which they die, and also all the very different like weapons that are being used. Really, there's no consistency with that. So it does seem like, different little like bits, vignettes almost, different parts to the same whole, but they are different.
Yes. Yeah, and it's a fairly, I would say this is a more or less a single location movie. There are in this apartment complex, I guess, or at least this weird building. That people are living in.
I guess it's like I think it's abandoned, but there's
squatters.
Like squatters and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, the movie pretty much starts with Dawn and Tara's car, or they're too drunk to drive home, and then they go get pizza to sober up, and then their car's been like vandalized, so they can't drive home. So they call their friend.
It's the girl's sister.
Yeah, Vicky, to come and get them, and in the 3 hours it takes her to get there.
I know, right? I was like, Jesus, it's taking her forever.
Dawn is murdered, Tara's murdered, and then people they don't know are murdered.
Yes.
And I want to get your opinion on something, because I was a little taken aback by Tara's death. What is your opinion on slashers using guns?
I am so glad you asked, Sam, because once the movie was over, I looked at Luke and I was like, what the fuck was with that gun?
Yeah, right? It took me out.
It took me out too, because I did not fucking know he had a gun. He had a lot of different things in his bag, but he had a gun. That I'm gonna look into what kind of gun that is, because that was an intense weapon too. But he fucking pulls it out and shoots Tara in like the leg, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's got a gun. And then I was like, and then he like kept using it, and he shot her to death in the head like 6 times. And I really don't know what to make of it.
I don't
It's really different. I'm not against it, but I'm not into it either. Really not.
Yeah, like it's a choice. Like I've never like there's always some sort of brutal intimacy with how these slashers kill their victims, right?
Yeah,
Like
yes, yes, Sam, yeah.
because with a chef's knife, you got to be like 3 inches away from them, right?
And you
I
go
don't.
3 inches deep.
Yeah, you
But
gotta.
yeah, seriously. But no, seriously, you're penetrating someone with something, but a
Yeah,
gun, you're right, it's
it's just.
very, it's like disconnected. So maybe
Mhm.
he hated her so bad because she rejected him that he's like, you know what, I'm gonna use the lamest weapon that I have, but it will really fucking kill you
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
No
I think that
questions
was the
asked.
thing. Is it
Right?
was fast. There was a lack of intimacy,
Yeah, he was pissed,
and it's just.
obviously.
It's not really something you see with the slasher character. You see guns in slasher movies a lot because, the cops are
The
trying to shoot.
cops.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
I don't know. It was a weird moment.
It was a weird moment. It's the one moment of everything I thought of while I was watching the movie. It was the one moment that I kept coming back to, and I was like, I can't shake that he had a gun.
Yeah. And we got that gun kill just a few minutes after we got the brutal murder of her friend, which made
Yeah.
me made me recoil in horror.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, every vulva owner would recoil at that scene.
yeah.
But seriously, the gun. I would love to all of our like however many fans, if you've seen this, what are your like thoughts about the gun? I mean, there was one part of it when I'm thinking about the gun where I'm just like, that is kind of badass because she was beaten on him.
Mm-hmm.
And she really like that's one thing that I think would be cool to whip out if you were a slasher. It's like, oh shit, you didn't know I had this gun, did you?
Yeah, like
Surprise.
it did feel like a last resort because as a
Mhm.
as a killer, art is very into the artistry of
Yes,
his kills, right? Like
definitely. Yeah.
they're kind of playful in a way. And like the way he set up her body at the end was still
Mhm.
playful, but there was a lack of I don't know, I guess up until that point it didn't fit what we knew about this character.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, the gun. So I'm so glad you asked. And I still I don't know what to make of it. I was neither into it nor not into it because of the context of the scene.
Yeah.
So
It
no.
was there and it's
Yeah.
left an impression on both of us enough to
It
be like,
has.
that was a choice.
I wonder if there'll be a gun in the second one.
I do too.
You know what I
I
mean?
Based on the trailers I've seen, I do think the second one is going to have more of a overarching story.
It's very long too, so I feel like
Yeah.
they really
Like
did a lot more with it.
I think this one on Rotten Tomatoes has a aggregate score of like 57 and the new one has an 87. So
Dang,
I think
cool.
they've improved on everything, which means if you don't like the gore in this one, you're not going to like the gore in the second one.
Definitely. Yeah. And I feel like they probably had no idea that it would take off the way it did the first one. So, and it's been a while, but
Mhm.
they're probably like, shit, like people love art. So we'll
Yeah.
just do another one.
Yeah,
Fuck
and I'm
it.
glad they were able to do the sequel, and I'm glad it got the release that it did. I
Mm-hmm.
know John Squires of Bloody Disgusting was really pushing for the wide release. I haven't seen it yet, and I haven't really researched it a lot. I don't know if Bloody Disgusting was the distributor for this movie, the way
Okay.
Dread Central was the distributor for
Mm-hmm.
this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
again is why I say
yeah.
this is a horror movie for horror movie fans.
Definitely. Yep. And you
So
can tell.
it's not one you show your friend who doesn't like horror movies because
Right.
one it's really not that good in terms of story and acting,
Yeah,
and
they won't like
two
it.
it's pretty gory.
Yeah, they just won't
The
like
kills
it.
are pretty gross.
Yeah, yeah. They are gross. Yeah, so they just won't, your friend won't like it if they don't like horror.
Yeah.
And then they'll think that every horror movie is like that. So
Yeah.
that's
Always start your horror virgins with Scream. That's my
great, great one to start with. I second that for sure.
Because it's funny, it's meta,
scary, and it's cool and
mm-hmm.
badass, and just all these cool things, and the characters are likable, and yeah, and it's a good length too. Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
So
Cool.
yeah, after Tara dies,
Yeah.
Vicky finally arrives, starting like another little segment of the movie.
Yeah, wait, real quick. Here's my question for you. Whenever you saw Vicky after Tara was dead, I had a moment where I thought that it was the same actress, just without makeup and like longer hair.
You
Did
know
you
what?
think that they looked a lot alike?
I'm glad you brought this up because I thought all the brunette women in this movie looked a lot alike.
That's what I said too when the movie was over. I was like, Luke, all these women looked exactly the same. Except
like,
for like
I was incredibly confused. So the scene where Vicky arrives and finds the quote unquote woman lying naked on the floor in agony, and it pans over to the woman who's actually dying, who had her breasticles ripped off, begging for help. I was really confused because I thought that was Tara, and I'm like, wasn't she shot 6 times in the face?
Too. I thought that was Tara too.
She looks really good for someone who was just shot 6 times in the face.
But no, it was the squatter, cat lady, whatever.
Yeah.
With the doll.
I also did not appreciate the naked clown with the breasts chasing after her the way he did. He did not need to move like that.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit, but like, so yeah, he did not need to move like that. Not all women walk like that, first of all. Like, even if they're naked in the street, I don't think they really would. But I was also okay, so we have female nudity, so we have breasts.
Mm-hmm. I saw a little bit
of
peen.
Do we have vagina?
I don't think we...
Do we see his penis at all?
I think we see the silhouette of his penis.
Okay, I was wondering if we were going to see it.
We do not see vag, and I thought about that as he was sawing Dawn in half, starting at the vulva.
At the vulva.
We see her butt, but we don't see vag. So,
no vag.
You know, that's fine. I appreciate not going full bush. This isn't the 70s.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the 70s, and also but sometimes if the man was naked, so sometimes I get frustrated, and you know how I can get if there's no full frontal male nudity when there should be. But let me ask you this: his body, like, this is the body of the actor that plays the clown. Okay, do you think his body is very feminine looking? Like, did you like catch that? Sam, are you there?
I'm sorry. I muted myself. I muted myself because I was coughing. I hit the button, but it. I was agreeing with you.
Do you think he had a feminine body? Yeah.
The way he was moving, without the clothes on, was very feminine, and I think that was a specific acting choice. And I do appreciate when we have lankier, more slender slashers, because we don't get those a lot. They're always so stiff.
Yeah,
with the exception of Freddy.
Yeah, or like they're like just bigger guys.
Yeah.
But and because like I feel like when it like zoomed in on like the breast, but below the breast it was like cut off, and then it was his stomach and abdomen, and his stomach and abdomen looked like a woman's body.
Well, I looked up Howard Thornton, and he's not.
Look him up with a new shirt or something. Howard.
Be careful, because when I looked him up, I was like, oh, he's kind of cute.
He is a cutie.
He's kind of cute. This is gonna be problematic for my mental health.
Yeah, for the next one we see, because now we know what he looks like. Yeah. And how do you think all the ladies felt in the film? They're like, yeah, I want to be in this movie too. He's so cute. He's probably so funny and nice too, because he's kind of nerdy looking.
Yeah, but I'm sure there was deliberate choices with the body type they wanted for Art the Clown, if they planned for him to get nude, because he has to imitate a woman for his trap to work. So if you're fucking Kane Hodder, that's not going to be believable. She's not going to believe your sister lying there.
Because he's like just short and stout, but very burly manly man. Kane Hodder. Oh goodness.
So like for that moment, you have to believe
yes.
it's her sister.
Yes. But yeah, so I was like, oh my God, he is such a womanly figure, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I was frustrated that there was no peen, but maybe I won't. I hear that there's peen in the next one. So
There's peen in the next one?
yes, there's two, I heard.
Ooh.
So yeah. Also speak, and this is just a side conversation, but we'll get back to it. But have you like seen or heard any of the like big Twitter dispute that's happening between the actress from Terrifier 2 and like just like dude bros who are mad because there's no full frontal female nudity apparently?
No, I havenent.
Just peen, and the men's are upset because they want a naked woman to jerk off to apparently, and it's the peen is not enough for them, so they're really frustrated.
Like I don't what? That's so
Dude,
stupid.
isn't it stupid? But it's like it's been going on for like a few days.
But like the boobs in this one aren't jerk off material boobs. Like they're not in the form of a sex scene.
Yeah, they're not like that, and that's the whole argument is like this type of a movie, the nudity that's happening is not meant to be sexy.
Yeah.
It's just circumstantial.
Like you absolutely have like sexy nudity in a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
But this like it's just circumstantial exploitative nudity in this one. So
definitely.
Like it's fine if they don't do that again for the second one, especially if the actresses
are young. If you're coughing, excuse you. I hope you're okay, but
no, I just knocked my my cord, my connecting cord off the microphone.
I see. But yeah, they're supposed to be young, like high school age people, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this guy.
You can hear me, right?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It was still giving me warnings that my mic wasn't working.
No, it's a lie. You're good.
Yeah. Because when I was looking at, the promotional images for Terrifier 2, the main actress didn't look like.
That's the woman who is like she's like defending herself against these like freaking incel bros who are like,
she didn't look like the kind of actress who wants to do nudity,
and you don't have to, and it doesn't suit the film, I'm sure, but I'm sure the peen in the movie that's naked has a purpose.
Like going back to Dawn's murder, because that was for me a vulva owner, a woman. That was
I'm glad you like that.
That was the most horrifying death. And like it was intended to be super exploitative and shocking when you see her hanging upside down nude, and then he rips off spread eagle. God. So if you have actresses who aren't into that, and I mean it's been what 6 years since the original Terrifier came out, like Damien Leone has probably matured in the way he wants to
definitely
portray his scream queens.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm here for it. Definitely.
Yeah. And I'm not anti-nudity. Nude is natural. Nude is beautiful, but it should always be done as to the comfort of the actors.
Yes, to the comfort of the actors, and also it should be agreeable with the type of film and everything like that. So just because the fans are upset doesn't mean that the next movie needs to have boob because the fans are upset if there won't be one.
And it's not like women are demanding to see peen. Like
no, only me.
I get excited. I'm more excited seeing dude butt than I am peen.
Yeah, me too. It's because it is like different, because us as women, whenever we watch movies, we're just used to seeing a naked woman anyway, because it's just like that's just what happens first. But it excites me whenever I see something different, which is like it's okay to have nude males too, because it's okay to exploit their bodies too, because it's a horror movie. So having that shakes things up a little bit. I'm glad men are getting more comfortable with doing that. So it's okay to have both guys. So
excellent. And I get why, like, for a long time men may not, like, I think Hayes laws might have had something to do with like lack of peen in movies, because I still think like male strippers legally can't go full frontal in America.
Gotcha.
But I could understand comfort wise, since you know, people are judgmental about boob size, but boobs are boobs. They're going to be appreciated. If an actor
as long as the boob has a nip, everyone's going to be appreciated.
Yeah. But like, you know, I could understand the self-consciousness if you're a male actor or an actor with a penis and, you know, it's small.
Yeah, what if that, do you think that could be like even worse? I feel like us as women, we understand it, but yet we wouldn't with in regards to like
like
self-conscious about a peen. Yeah.
Like if you're so self-conscious about your tiny boobs or your big boobs, there are ways to fix that if you really feel so inclined.
Right.
But I think penis enlargement is a scam. And I know penis delargement is a thing. I think Tommy Lee had to have it done.
Really? I'm sure. Okay.
No, I think it was a thing, unless it's like another Marilyn Manson rumor, where apparently Tommy Lee had to have it reduced because it was so big, he would pass out if he would get an erection. That's just what I heard. I don't know if it's another one of those like Marilyn Manson had his ribs removed to blow himself.
Oh, it could be, but also I don't know how that would work, but also I could understand that like if a man is too large, I can understand that he'd want that to happen if his woman was experiencing discomfort with intimacy.
Because like the vaginal canal is what, only 5 inches deep?
It's not that enormous, and people believe that a woman wants something like enormous, but it can be just uncomfortable, you know, so don't worry about it if your peen is not enormous. It's okay, chill, it's okay.
Anyway, getting off the peen discussion.
That's the real horse.
All peens are beautiful, and all boobs are beautiful.
All boobs are beautiful. All vulva owners with the vulvas are beautiful. Excellent. We love it. All inclusive here at Real Horror Show.
Okay, so
what are we on to now?
So Vicky becomes our final girl. She runs a lot from Terrifier, fights him a lot.
I'm gonna call him Terrifier too, actually, because I like that. I like that better than Art the Clown because he's scary.
And she runs, she finds her sister, and she's really fucking stupid about it. She's like, Vicky, you can't, Tara, you can't be dead. Look at me. And I'm like, do you not see the 6 bullet holes in her face?
Like her face is basically gonna fall into itself because it's been shot so many times.
And then Art the Clown or Terrifier shows up with a makeshift cat o' nine tails.
Yeah. Oh, this part was intense because I just thought it was a chain, but then I noticed that it was more than a chain.
Yeah, I saw that and I really like that to the point that I wish it was his main weapon through the movie.
Yeah, that is so different and cool. That's kind of what I do like about horror movies, is that there can be a little bit of like creativity with the weapons, not like a gun, but like this.
He whips the shit out of her. She's rescued by the exterminator.
The exterminator, who should be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Getting hit on the head.
He's like, I'm going to call the cops. He does get the cops on the line, but he dies shortly after. And I can't remember if it was before or after this where Terrifier tries to strangle her or suffocate her with the saran wrap.
That was before, and then she like does the thing with her fingernail, obviously to get the hole in there.
I got a little frustrated with her for how long that took her to do.
Immediately I was like, oh my god, go for the mouth, get your nails. She's like, and then she like flails her arms. I'm like, what are you doing?
Just like I justify a lot of stupid decisions people make in horror movies because you know, real life flight or fight. Yeah. But like with that, we've all seen if you're ever in this situation, poke the holes and rip it off.
Yes.
So I got a little frustrated with her there. But just as she escapes, she frustrates me again because as always, instead of running from the serial killer, you're just staring at him even though he's trapped and can't get to you, and you have the fucking opportunity to run away and find an escape route. You just stare at him.
Stare at him.
And the cops start to arrive. She looks through the gate, and the clown drives straight forward in the truck. In the truck, hits her, and then I assume he starts eating her face.
Yes, I really thought she got away from the truck fast enough, but I guess not, because he like totally like just hit her. and he smells her face in a creepy way and then begins to eat it.
He starts eating her face, and then the cops come and they're like, we're gonna shoot you, and he's like, haha, I'm gonna shoot myself. And
oh yeah, I was like, didn't he use the gun a second time to like surprise people? Fucking guy, but he kills himself. Kills himself, quote unquote.
Which makes me he's more human as a serial killer.
Is he like an ex-cop? Why does he have this gun?
I don't know. I hope we get a little backstory into Art the Clown in the second one.
I hope so too. And you know what? If you have a gun, like you can maybe trace it to somebody, but I'm sure they can't trace it to anybody in this case. But yeah, it really kills himself, but then he comes back to life.
Yeah, and Vicky survives. Personally, if that was how my face looked after facial reconstruction surgery, I would sue the doctor. Did you even try?
Wait, she had surgery?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's implied that
if she does, then it sucks.
Yeah. They could have tried harder. I mean, it does take place in America, so maybe the insurance wouldn't cover like proper facial reconstruction.
Yeah,
and I guess I'm being too harsh because I know there are monkey attack victims that remain disfigured many, many, many years after, but the one I can think of was like in the early 2000s, and we've come so far in plastic surgery and facial reconstruction.
Definitely have
2004.
Yes,
but I guess she's not as scary if she got like a decent
just like someone else's face transplanted onto her. And they can do that. That's the thing. That's the problem. It's reality. Like you can have a face transplant, I think. Oh,
you might be able to. Yeah. Like I just know it's come a long way.
Right. It's longer than it looks like. it should look better on her. Yeah. She looks like a mummy.
But you gotta make it scary.
Yeah, she looked like, I don't understand how she could like function or like breathe with how like the skin healed on her face. She looks like her face melted.
Yeah.
And her eye looks weird, just like be blind. Like, I don't know.
Her eye especially, that's the thing that's getting me, is it's just kind of like a hollow cavern with flesh over it. But like in a real life scenario, they would put a glass eye in and kind of like reconstruct the area, I would think.
Yeah, they wouldn't let they literally let all the skin grow over like all the holes on her face. So like her one eye, her nose. Yeah. So I'm like, how can she breathe unless her mouth is always open? Whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a horror movie. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It was very scary though.
But before that, it's revealed that Art is still alive.
Yes. He is. He goes to the morgue and he comes back to life after a really creepy thing happens in the morgue where the lights go on and off and flicker and all these things happen, and it's alluded to that a evil entity, I read this in the second synopsis, an evil entity brings him back to life. Ooh. Who could that be? I don't know, but he's brought back to life and he like kills the morgue guy. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed the loose flesh hanging off the back of his head.
I did.
But that annoyed me because I imagine it would feel like, when you have a hair just lingering somewhere on your body and you can't find where it is, but it's touching you and it's there.
Yeah, or what if there's like a hair on your like eyelash and you can kind of feel it a little bit go in your eye and you're like, oh, I can't get it. Like I can't get it. So like that. Oh yeah, that stuff bothers me too. Yeah. So
it's like, just reach back there and take it off.
I know, like, just rip it off. Oh, just rip it off. I'm like, no, you just let it hang there because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's got a gun. He doesn't care about anything. So, but bringing everything full circle, Art the Clown is alive. At the very beginning of the movie, we see what appears to be present day, but is actually a flash forward to present. The girl who got her face eaten, she like appears on like a TV show to talk about her trauma and
she kills the host.
And she kills the host, which I was like, Luke, why did she kill the host? And she's like, well, she made fun of her. And I was like, but I didn't know she was a murderer. But I guess she's so traumatized
and
pissed off.
She is back in Terrifier too. So Hopefully we'll learn
she
why.
is?
We'll learn why she has gone
Ah,
serial killer.
yeah. Well, maybe, yeah. Maybe like Terrifier isn't the bad guy,
Ooh.
and it's fucking Samantha Scafidi, aka Victoria Hayes,
Yeah.
who's super hot.
That would be
But
shocking.
I know in that it would be shocking, but also I'd be like, oh shit. So that Yeah, so that's a thing. I hope I explained it well. But in the
Mhm.
beginning, it's like 1 year later. But then whenever that scene passes, it's 1 year ago. So the events that happen in the movie are depicted in the very beginning of the movie on the show. It's the
Mhm.
same girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew, gosh.
Yeah, so let's get into production. On a $35,000 budget, I thought the practical gore effects were really well done.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Bloody, kind of funny at some points, which is fine. That's not an insult.
Yeah, not an insult. They were trying to be like Sam said, playful or silly at
Yeah.
times.
Because it's a clown, right? So
he's trying to do jokes and stuff
yeah.
and whatever.
So yeah, it was great. With the $35,000 budget, and I think the majority of that going to the fake blood and the gore. Everything else is just fine. Low budget camera, low budget scenery. It was fine. Like the setting was fine. I got like the mapping of it was weird because it is fairly single location.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it
Yeah,
was
all the
fine.
same place. Yeah, yeah.
This movie is a cult classic, probably because of the iconic kills and Art the Clown's whole look itself, not necessarily the high quality everything else.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. And I would say that this is also a cult classic because yeah, the kills are very unique, but the way that this film shows gore very in your face, unlike
Mm-hmm.
other films do, kind of make it very memorable. So I can see why people kind of like, although that there's no plot or whatever, that's what brings people back
Yeah.
because it's set apart a lot and they really go for it 100%, and it does work out most of the time, because I would be sitting there and a kill was happening. I'm like, wow, this is like really like over the top. But that's like the whole point. Because he is a
Mm-hmm.
clown and it is over the top and it is like his art form and he is being creative and like this is the only way he can express himself and blah blah blah. Why can't people understand? So that is what is bringing people back.
Yeah.
Called classic material.
Trying to trying to think back to it and whether or not I want to say Art
Yeah.
is a better clown than Pennywise. And I'll say I think Art is a better clown than Pennywise.
Yeah, Pennywise he falls short, but only because, and this is me playing devil's advocate, because Pennywise is disguised as a clown. He's actually like an interdimensional demon entity spider question mark.
Yeah. So this Art is actually a clown, so maybe that's why he's a better clown.
But you're right anyway. He is a better clown because he's actually a real clown and he has a gun. Not many clowns have that.
I'm sure a lot of clowns have guns.
Oh, maybe they do.
Yeah.
That's wild. Maybe what if they like do and like we're just missing that whole point? Is like, don't you know that every clown has like a gun?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh shit, that's why he's got one, duh, on his ankle. Like a cop. Like, is he a cop? Like, what's happening here? So
Yeah.
I don't know. But the more I think about it, it was like it was really good. It wasn't great,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me really think about a lot of different things of like parts of the movie after I was done watching it. And that is really what you want, when you're making any kind of movie.
Yeah. So I'll give this movie an yeah, that fucked me up. It was fun.
Yeah, I would agree with that actually, because it took me a day. I think I watched this 2 nights ago, and after initially watching it, because it is not like a blockbuster $1 billion film, I like you'll watch it and you'll be like, that was like just okay. So I was like at a meh, but like I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Uh-huh.
So it like is like rising up at me, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch the second one. Like I had these thoughts and I couldn't control them. So
I'm looking forward to the second one.
Me too. So I would definitely say, oh yeah, that fucked me up. I can see the appeal. And if you watch it and you have that feeling where you're like, oh, this is dumb, just like let it simmer. In like, at least for me, I can't stop thinking about all these different things that I saw that this movie did that I haven't seen before. And so that's what makes it cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I guess realistic aspects, gun violence.
Just like, yeah, having your assailant, if it's not bad enough that he's got like all these disturbing weapons in a giant garbage bag, he whips out a gun to kill you. Like, geez.
Yeah.
Bucks.
I guess creeps at a pizza parlor in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
I would definitely say that might be like number one or number two, is like being somewhere in public, but like not really being able to control those around you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's creepy. Oh, how about this? And this is maybe a facet of the pizza parlor thing, is in the film, he like goes to the back, and I guess he like goes to the bathroom, but he must have like a bag of like shit.
Yeah, that was the only part of this movie that actually grossed me out, is just like poop stuff.
I thought it was blood, but then on the wall I saw that it was not blood, and it was like shitty diarrhea or something.
And it was gray, like ugh.
Ew, that disgusts me, because like that is the real horror show, because if there's something wrong with you inside,
I can handle seeing a woman being sawed in half starting at the vulva, but I draw the line at poop.
I draw the line at seeing like shitty toilet shit.
Yeah, because that's too real. We've all
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
On the way to Myrtle Beach,
no.
The fastest way to get to Myrtle Beach is the sketchy back roads, and there is a gas station. Mm-hmm. And when David and I stopped there one time, it was like the picture perfect, creepy gas station you stop at in the middle of nowhere. There was even a stray dog running around the parking lot. And
of course,
I went in to use the bathroom, and it was the most disgusting bathroom I have ever seen. Just
shit everywhere.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I contributed to it because the toilet didn't flush, so because it was clogged and I needed to change my tampon.
Yes. So, well, do what you got to do. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. It was gross. So like, I think that's too real, because we've all been in that disgusting gas station bathroom.
Yeah, yes, we absolutely have. And I'll tell you what, I'll add to your story. If you're an avid hiker, and you ever visit like a national park and you do like a crazy high hike or something, like on a big tall mountain or whatever, they do have like these larger like restroom areas, but the toilets are the equivalent of a toilet that's in a porta potty. Mm-hmm. And so if people are like nervous, like out hiking, they'll go to there, and they're like, because I went to the restroom at one of these at the top, not the top of Angel's Landing in Zion National Park, but like the big stop before you have to go out to the landing. And it was like the last toilet, and it was disgusting because people must have gotten nervous and had poops. Like diarrhea. Yeah. And you can't flush the toilet because the helicopter has to come and pick it all up after the end of the day. So awful. Yeah. But you have to use the bathroom, so you just deal with it, and that is a real horror show. So yeah, that happened. What else? Gun violence. I suppose being stranded because your car won't work in the night. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. Maybe coming across, running into creepy people that live in like an abandoned place or whatever. Yeah. Also, I feel like, you know what? I feel like shitty toilets is like a theme in this movie. There's at least two. Mm-hmm. Because she like has to use the restroom and she goes to the gross one in the abandoned building or whatever. Yeah. And then other than that, I guess everything else just kind of isn't too realistic, so we can leave it out.
Yeah.
Wait, there's one thing I do want to say now that we've discussed everything, and I want to bring it up to you, because I just like recalled this movie is set on Halloween night.
Mm-hmm.
But the only Halloweeny thing we really get is that the girls are in like costumes, but they're in like sexy
Yeah.
costumes.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a Halloween movie. It's just set on Halloween for the spookiness.
Yeah, definitely. So I just wanted to just bring that up and let it be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, this would be extremely terrifying if it did happen on Halloween night. Like, geez, and the Halloween night in the movie was like 42 degrees. It's freezing cold. Like, good gracious, that's the real horror show too. Sam and I don't like the cold, so
No.
no way. And dude, I think that's all we got because we talked a lot.
Yeah, I think that's all we have. If you want to wrap it up with the end notes, I promise I won't mute myself and forget about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so get ready. I'm going to ask you what we learned today, so see if you can come up with something cool. All right. So if we're ready to go, Sam and I give it an oh yeah, that fucked me up. Check out Terrifier we watched it on Amazon Prime. So that was cool. Real Horror Show was created by Sam Odie and Stormy Skies and is directed by Sam Odie. Today, what have we learned from watching Terrifier? I have one, but Sam, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Because I have a good
always have a solid backup plan on how you're getting home after a party.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Now I have two. Don't ever leave your spare tire on your vehicle.
Ooh, yeah.
Because that was why they couldn't leave. Damn it. God damn it. And then two, watch out for guns because you might get shot by your slasher assailant. So just maybe a bulletproof vest next time. I don't know. Okay. Like what you hear, you can find Real Horror Show on Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play Store, Stitcher, iTunes, and Pandora. Really, really like what you hear? Follow us on Twitter at Horror Show Pod or search for Real Horror Show on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook at Real Horror Show. Like our page and share our stuff. We also have a website that all of our written reviews and podcasts can be found, realhorrorshow.com. Excuse me. Sorry. Want to interact with us? Want to make sure we're real humans and not space vampires? Comment on our website or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Want to argue with us about something? Or think you have a really great horror movie review that you're dying to share with two random strangers from the internet? Submissions are open for movie reviews. Check out the submit page on our website and follow the rubric before sending us anything. If it's not done according to the rubric, it will be disregarded. Sorry, not sorry. We love horror, and if you're listening, you do too. Please help us keep our project going by visiting our support page on our website, where you can make a one-time donation via PayPal. We also have an Amazon wish list. If you feel like buying us something tangible will help convey your love more than a monetary donation would. Also, you can find the Buy Us a Coffee button on our website. It's a button you can click that will pay us the amount you would need to buy a coffee. A little bit goes a long way. Sometimes we can't help out artists monetarily, and that's okay. By simply liking, sharing, retweeting, and even giving us an awesome review will help us out tremendously. And any other pertinent news?
I don't think so. If Twitter dies, I guess follow us on Instagram. You can follow my personal one. I didn't share Stormy's personal one because she's a lot more private now that she's in academia.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, follow our personals. Sam, do you want to say like what your personal handle is? And I'll say mine too if you want to follow.
Yeah, mine is Sam is writing stuff on Instagram. Yes. And I just post stuff I'm writing and or reading along with just nice aesthetic posts.
Yeah, very, very cool aesthetic Sam has, and it's very unique to her. So it's really, really very cool. And also a lot of videos of like her listening to vinyl and turntables and stuff like that. Very cool stuff. My Instagram is the Stormy Skies, all one word. So I just post academia stuff and stuff. if I even post at all.
Yeah.
Sam is a little bit more active, but her and I
Yeah.
we're getting to that age.
Yeah. Since I'm trying
hard.
to be a famous writer, I try to be a little more active, and
Yeah.
Stormy's just a private PhD candidate.
Yes, but also on a public Instagram, but very low followers, so that it's still private nonetheless.
I'll always leave it up to her if she wants to
yeah, definitely
be followed.
I definitely appreciate that a lot. But yeah, so if you don't listen to this, you won't see it again or whatever, unless I choose to share it. If Twitter does really like go away, you never know. Know. Oh God. Okay. Anyway, that's time stamping the episode, so that's the news happening now.
Yeah.
It's very cold, and it's on the brink of the holiday season, so please be careful and be safe out there, because it's beginning to snow around where we live, so just be careful and be safe. Our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Colton. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening, and this is Real Horror Show signing off.
Bye.
Bye bye.
And